And good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode 103 of the podcast. I'm Garry Redmond, greeting and salutations at your service. Well, this has been a very fun weekend. If you are a team that happens to be sitting in the first place, you should be smiling and walking around with a big smile on your face. We're going to talk about why that is happening. And when we talk about the myself and my co-host, we talk about FC Cincinnati versus New York Red Bulls and what happened in that match and why they're sitting literally on the top of everything. Well, of course, we're going to also preview the upcoming match with New York Red Bulls versus Chicago Fire FC, and one of our old friends returning to South Ward. Of course, the New York Red Bulls 2 and Gotham FC, they will be playing Gotham. Speaking of Gotham FC, they will be playing their home opener this Sunday. New York Red Bulls 2 will be back at Belson Stadium for their regular match versus New York City FC 2. We're also, after the break, we're going to have a nice little lengthy discussion of what happened in the Generation Adidas Cup. And there was some ugly incidents that took place, and this was the number one topic of the discussion group, and we're going to have discussions with that in depth. We're also going to hear more of your live hot takes from the live audience. I see most of you guys signing on. Good to see you guys again from last week. And of course, naturally, we wrap up the show with some bold predictions with the Chicago game, and of course, New York Red Bulls 2, and of course, New Jersey, New York, Gotham FC. And if you happen to miss the live show, don't even worry about it. You can always catch the recording on YouTube channel, goals.tv, and of course Spotify.com, and all of those episodes are uploaded the very next day. And if you have any feedback for us, whether positive or negative, drop us a line at NYRBDG, the podcast at gmail.com. That's once again, NYRBDG, the podcast at gmail.com. And so, let us begin our show by bringing two of my fantastic co-hosts and a returning one, of course, although he's been rolling around all over the place, Nicholas Llanos, and of course, Miguel Nunez, sporting that gunner. I hope your squad holds on. It's got 7 games left, okay? We're holding our breath now. We don't want you punching a wall between now and the 8th game. 7th game.
I don't know that I'm confident that they're going to hold on because it's so,
they win on Wednesday.
So close. It's so close. Okay,
yeah.
But I see some. What can we win on
Wednesday?
No, I think it's tomorrow. They're playing tomorrow. Yeah, right.
Champions League.
Can we win? Yeah. Bayern Munich is not in great shape right now, so this is the time to stomp them. And also, I just want to say hello.
Them is bad.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, happy birthday to Christian. This is his birthday today. So if you're out there, big shout out to you. Hope you're up there celebrating with family and friends, of course, as you're taking a lap around. And before we even get started, as we do here at the show every time, there was a game that NYCFC played out in Queens. They played Atlanta United. They were winning until the Five Stripes basically tied them before it was over. Of course, naturally, we won our game. So you know what that means around here, right? When we win and they don't, that means we won the weekend. So as I like to always say, blow that horn. There you go. Yeah. And so that means, and that's a little tongue in cheek with my hip hop friend, my cousin, lifelong NYCFC fan. But before I ask you, esteemed gentlemen, how was the weekend? Let's think about this for a second. Have you checked the standings lately? There's a certain team that we follow somehow after 7 games. Gentlemen, we are the leaders of the East. We are the rulers of the roost. Yes, albeit temporarily. But you know what? That feels good. I mean, everybody, including our friends, including our people in the live audience. Can you dig it? We're in first. After 7 games, we're in first. Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Stop the count.
Can you dig it? You dig it. That's right. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Can you dig it? We're in first.
Garry, talk to me in August. Talk to me in August, Garry.
Stop the count. Stop the count. Stop the count.
Talk to me in August, Garry. Come on.
Oh, as my cousin would like to say, oh, yeah. Y'all celebrate now. Yeah, go ahead. Celebrate now. Talk to me in October. I mean, talk to me in October. All right. You guys ain't. I mean, everybody should be feeling good about themselves, but I hate to be the one to throw the bucket of cold water at everybody. It's just 7 games. That's it. Okay. Even the coach said in the post game, hey, tap the brakes. I'm just happy that my boys did what they need to do against a top team. Okay. FC Cincinnati, Nick, Miguel, they ain't slouches. We went down there. Knife fight. It was a knife fight. It was a rock fight. I'm surprised these guys didn't fight. There was so much fouls in this game. Okay. You could have mistaken it for tackle football, but Red Bulls walked out of it. Before a single ball was kicked, okay, Nick, by the way, you did the game thread on that coming off the bench for Carlos. Well done, by the way. Excellent job, of course.
My fingers are still tired from fighting that first half. They were going at it. What a fast-paced game.
What were you thinking? Okay, we will start with you, Nick. What were you thinking before the ball got kicked off?
0-0 brawl game. Ugly. Keep it ugly because both teams played very good defense. They don't give up too many chances. I expected the defense to come out and pitch a normal fight, ugly, keep it ugly as possible, and get type of game. 3 minutes in, we're down 1-0, taking a punch to the face. We got our legs together. 10 minutes in, they started playing Red Bull soccer, and Amaya hit that goal, and it was on. And we should have had 2 in the first half, besides the penalty kick. He made a couple of good saves, Laurel. Give him some credit. He got some pretty good saves in the first half.
Old friend, Mr. Evan Laurel.
Laurel, yes. Our ex-Red Bull guy.
You know, tell me that you want to be a Red Bull team without being a Red Bull team. You know,
yes.
First of all, you claim that your home stadium, which isn't bad very well, it's a fantastic looking facility. What did they call it, Miguel? Red Bull Arena on steroids. Okay, that's what they called it. So I'm like, yeah, okay. So you copied us and you just made the model a little better. But something you said before the match. I think you tweeted or we had a little discussion on Messenger about this crew, okay, about this team being coached, okay, by Sandro Schwartz. You impressed by him yet?
Oh yeah, the guy's a miracle worker, Gary. Come on, you know.
Wait, miracle worker?
He's a miracle worker. He's getting so much out of the team. Lewis Morgan is like a new signing. Dante Van Zier. He's like a new DP signing.
Well, he just needed a decent strike partner, to be honest with you. We said this, okay? We said, get this guy some help. He can't be this. Let's see. For the last 3 coaches, we had the lone striker on the island, right? Way up there in the top, all sitting there being bored and whatnot. It did not work. We've always said that it's got to be 4-2-2. It's got to be, 4-4-2. And have the wingbacks feed the forwards. Okay, that's always have been that. At least to me, that's always have been fizzy drink soccer. Okay, and overlap that. But in the beginning of the game, 3 minutes in, it did not look good. Okay, it was almost kind of predictable, right? We knew that. We all knew that Cincinnati was, this was going to, the place was packed. The place was bumping, okay? These fans were looking for blood, and they almost got it. So 3 minutes in, Yaya Kubo, who usually comes off the bench in these certain situations, he started, and he got things going.
The 27-year-old Brazilian-born Carlos Coronel underway tonight in Cincinnati. Miles Robinson, the first-year Cincinnati man. You can make the case that after the Hell is Real derby, this is the next biggest rivalry for the Cincinnati team. First involvement for Lucho Acosta, able to pick up the trail and save made. Carlos Coronel, follow-up drive, goal! It's a blistering start for FC Cincinnati, and their Swiss Army knife, Yuya Kubo, with the opening goal.
Here is a really good example of it. Reyes, he just gets caught on the wrong side. He is never able to recover then. The ball goes across to Yedlin, and we see then the ball to the far post is absolutely majestic.
Okay. Poor marks for defense that was just standing around watching that ball go over everyone into the back of the net, where Yaya Kubo just simply said, "Thank you very much," and handed it in. That's where I said it was predictable. It was a punch in the face at that point. Miguel, what were you thinking after that goal, after you saw that? What was the first thing you had in your mind?
Well, the first thing that I had in my mind is that it was going to be a long night, okay? They have a number 10 that is just an awesome player. That's the type of player we've needed for years and years. It looks like we have that type of player right now, okay? But that guy, he's so freaking good. You see that on a dime, you know? No, but the long ball, the touch for the long ball, he passes it, the player takes the shot, it comes back to him, and just on a dime, like throwing it like a basketball, Garry, right to him.
Yeah, like a fadeaway.
Yeah.
Like a fadeaway jumper, like ouch. I mean, I said to myself, there's no way he was going to make a save over that. I mean, somebody had to put a body on Yaya, but you had to be careful there, Nicholas, because easily you could have followed him in the box and it could have been a PK because
and a red card
and a red card in the whole 9 yards. Because credit to the team from coming out of it, because fans were rocking and rolling. There was a chant that was coming out from the Bailey. I can't say it because this is a G-rated program. F you, Frankie. Okay, so it got so loud it was pretty much audible. But then Mr. Amaya responded.
Something of a response here by the Red Bulls after surrendering the early goal. Shroud, Amaya, Forsberg tried to send that through for Lewis Morgan, but denied. Now the Red Bull press wins it back. Shot from long range, tied in! Oh, and who else could it be? Frankie Amaya back in Cincinnati, and the Red Bulls back in business. We're level at 1.
Give it, get it back, finish, and he does it so well. But the touch from Van Zer, because the pace on the ball from Morgan is tremendous.
I mean, if you're probably wondering what he was saying, I mean, you're reading the lips right there was probably F you too. I mean, Garry, the hatred they have for this kid, they are tired of him. They're sick of him. I mean,
he thrives. He thrives on that atmosphere.
I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does. I'm sure he loves being the villain. Okay, he loves being the villain. He loves sticking it to that team more than anything else. For what I understand, when he cupped his ears, that was in response to what Cucho, did last year to us. Okay, so this was kind of a payback thing for him. But what a response! What a response!
I will tell you that's Red Bull football in a nutshell. What a play by Frankie to win the ball back, lays it off.
We haven't seen.
Oh my God,
Miguel, Nicholas, we haven't seen stuff like that since 2018. Remember when if they lost that ball, they were demon possessed to get it back, and that's what I like to see. Box to box balling. I mean, the years, Nicholas, of them giving up the ball, oh well, we're just gonna try to get the ball back eventually. No more.
Now you make a mistake with a pass. You've seen it in a lot of games. Houston, you saw it a lot. This game, you saw it a lot. Miami, all 3 goals were basically off turnovers. 3 straight turnovers. We got run right back in their face, and we scored right away. Everything was a mistake, and they've been pouncing on Amaya, Edelman, and Stroud. Have been getting the ball. The minute they get a turnover, they're pushing it right fast. The first move is quick, and that's where even with Morgan being back on the field, Van Zer being back to, I think, full strength finally.
Lucho. Sorry about that. I said Cucho, didn't I? I said Lucho. Thanks, Lonray. I mean, but
you're seeing them push, and you see the elements of the press. You see the elements of what they want to do with the Red Bull soccer set, but it's coming from a different way. I think Sancho's more relaxed about it. You'll see it on spurts. You don't see it 24/7 like it was under Marsh.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree. Forsberg didn't get involved too much until later on, which was goal number 2, goal number 3, and goal number 2 for New York. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Dante.
Forsberg. Played ahead. That finds Van Zier. Cuts it back. Dante Van Zier puts it in the back of the net. And the Red Bulls take a 2-1 lead in Cincinnati.
It's the first time since the 21st of May last year that Cincinnati have conceded in regular season in the second half. But it's brilliant.
Right. First time in a while since they conceded anything in the second half. Their defense was formidable. How they want those wins? I'm talking FC Cincinnati. They have remember, they have a terrific defense. Okay, they score a couple of goals, game over. Right? They would just simply see out the game. Not this time. Not this time. And Evan Laurel, I've watched this guy from New York Red Bull 2. He usually saves those. Okay.
I was gonna say, Gary, that that might have been a little bit of an Evan Laurel howler.
Yeah,
I think he should have done better.
Yeah, he usually saves those. I mean, the PK shot that he did save, I just said to myself, I just said to myself, no, don't go. No, I said, don't go to his right. Don't go to his right. That's his strong suit. Went to the right. He made that save. So
he didn't place it properly either. That was a little too far on the inside. He didn't hit the corner.
Yeah,
it was a well taken. He hit a lot of power. It wasn't a well taken shot though.
I mean, it was definitely, it was definitely one of the highlights of the season. The final score in New York Red Bulls 2, Cincinnati 1. Morgan, of course, we talk about this all the time. But when you look at the statistics, I mean, by the way, the goals are very wrong. It just, it was a fight. It was a foul-filled 19 fouls in Cincinnati, 16 for us, 3 yellow cards to 2. And Lisa's wondering the same thing I'm wondering. How is it that no one got a red card in that match? I mean,
I don't know how Costa didn't get a yellow because he was fouling everybody.
I don't know.
I mean, he was fouling people left and right. I'm like,
and he got warned 3 times. How do you warn the guy 3 times without giving him a card?
He should have had a red. I was watching that video today. I think it was on Twitter where
no idea. Me too, Lisa. No idea how no red cards were given to that game because there was several. There was several red cards.
But there was that one incident. Nealis had the ball. Acosta knocked it off his hands, but very quickly he just kicked him from behind.
Yeah,
he kicked him from behind, and the ref didn't see it, man.
I mean, dark arts. That match with dark arts. I mean,
that guy knows what he's doing.
No, he's a South American baller. They are specialties for stuff like that. Okay, wait till the ref moves his eyes somewhere else, and then do your dirty work on the ball. Yeah, if there was one thing that and this is why I want to highlight this, Vincent, you're right. Okay, he's revolutionized the team, but once again, they have this bad habit that I don't like. They have a tendency to let up, when they take the lead, and
not in the second half. I give the Red Bull defense credit, team a lot of credit, because you see the second half, they didn't give up a shot on goal, on target.
No, they did not.
From minute 44,
it was the Red Bulls' turn to say, "Oh, you got a defense? That's cute. Wait till you see ours." And basically, that's what happened.
Second half, it was a team defense. They shut it down. They gave up one shot in the 83rd minute, which was basically off a pinball effect, and they got to a Valenzuela shot, and it was saved by the Beard. No problem there. The rest, that whole second half, they gave up nothing. I give Sandro a lot of credit because he spoke to Reyes, and Reyes, he told him, hey, positionally, you're doing this and this wrong. Got him to play better. He got them a little more, Wiki was more back to help out a little more on defense. And Nealis, again, both Dylan and Sean have been our 2 top defenders this year, without a doubt. Both Nealis brothers. And
Both Nealis
we couldn't
brothers.
say that we couldn't say that a lot that last year because they weren't that good last year.
I think Ellie's done pretty well as well.
Yeah,
I will say that, and I think Reyes has done an admirable job of coming in that starting position these last few games.
No, first goal was his fault. The goal on the first goal.
Yeah,
the
first goal definitely his fault. I mean, this is exactly what it's exactly what it said about putting a body on somebody. I'm like, okay, you let this guy sneak right behind you. You were marking him earlier after the shot. Now you let him loose. That's why Kubo was sitting right there in the near post, having a cup of coffee and a sandwich before the ball got to him, and then headed it in. That was his responsibility. I was a little annoyed with that, but I said, okay, and what's done is done. I mean, it's the one thing that I think a lot of folks are noticing, okay, that slowly but surely in every measure, in every game, shortly after the Columbus game, okay, we knew that Columbus was a tall order, right? But since then, through this gauntlet, that's the only loss. That's it. That was the only loss. And when you look at the 7 games that's played, this is not a bad stretch. Now there's going to have another stretch after this, which will probably, if they can able to get through this in a very positive fashion, will probably lose first place. That's why I'm saying, hey, let's pump the brakes a little bit. But everyone is enjoying what they see. It's just amazing. What we're looking at here. And then, and this is what I mean. What is like, let this team surprise us a little, right? Okay.
Well,
we came in with somewhat, we came in with pretty much high expectations, right? With the announcement saying they're going to get better players and everything else. They're not done. Now imagine for just 1 second, they do get that dynamic forward, right? They do get that box, they do get that big home run hitter. Can you see this team making a serious run for a title? That's my question for the both of you. What do you honestly think? I mean, looking at this team, this roster right now, just looking at the team realistically, what's missing? What's missing that can put this team, put a regular fear, okay, saying, here come the Red Bulls. Is it a forward, or do we need a little more?
I think it's a forward. First priority is the forward because Vangier does need the help, and he's not a true back to the positional like BWP was to hold up the ball, grab the ball, and then distribute. He's not that type of forward. But if you get somebody like what BWP gave us, I think we can be contenders. I can't say you don't know about injuries, you don't know about anything.
Right.
We do have pieces in place. Tolkien is still a solid left back. You do have a good center back pairing between Nealis, Reyes, and Ellie. Right back, Duncan / Nealis. If it's Duncan, you don't know what can happen. If it's Nealis, he's off to a great start.
He's improved a little bit since I think someone talked to him a little bit. So, okay, last couple of games you've been garbage. You need to step this up a little bit. Man, he has improved. Do I think he's the guy right back, Miguel? No, he's got to show me something.
I love our midfield. You got to love the midfield.
Oh yeah, loving it.
Edelman, Stroud, Amaya. You got to love that midfield. You have 3 guys plus a guy you can bring in like winger like Genjar, Harper. They can throw on the side. Wiki Carmona's been playing very well. You got pieces. Now, do we need that extra special piece? Of course, every team does. But we do have pieces in place to make them. If we get the number 9, to make a run, can we use an extra midfielder? Sure. Again, when a game crunch comes along, you never know what happens. And
Miguel, let me ask you this: based on what Nicholas said, could this be a situation where too much might ruin things based on how things are going right now?
Gary, I would still add that special player up front.
Okay.
Okay. If we don't add any other piece,
Would you
but
say,
that guy.
okay, what would you do with Morgan? Would you leave him up top, or would you put him off? Put him off as a wing, and as a dangerous winger, off to the side.
Yeah, it would be the like Morgan on the left, okay, and then we'd have Forsberg in the middle, and we'd have.
No, I'll leave Forsberg on the left where he likes to be comfortable. I'll leave Forsberg there.
Okay, all right.
I would leave Forsberg.
And you'd have the
Forsberg is the quarterback. You leave him right where he's
where he decides.
He's this generation. He's this generation Sacha. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, that goal to Van Zier proved it. He was able to get the ball in the midfield, move it up a little bit, spot the guy that was going to run, make that pass. Again, his passes are sick. Okay.
Yeah.
Make that pass.
Beauty.
Make that pass and say, "Here you go, kid. Score."
If you notice, right before the first half ended, the throw by Dylan Neal's had that throw when he threw it right to Forsberg in the middle of the field. They were a little Cincinnati played a little back off him a little bit, and he goes, "Okay, you can give me the space, fine, I'll take it." And he dribbled right into the ball, right into about like 30 yards out, and he whipped the shot right on target. And Laurel made a nice save on. But if he needs to play in the middle, he'll play it. If he needs to play the right, he'll take it. If he needs to play the left, that's where he wants to be comfortable, leave him there. I would leave him there. Wherever he's most comfortable, leave him where he's at. And I think Sandro's found the right balance right now with everybody, and he's playing the informed players, then going to, I'm going to play this guy today. I'm going to go play this guy today.
Right.
But we had under Struber. It was just under.
We had different lineups every damn game.
I'm picking this guy out of a hat. I'm playing Fernandez, who hasn't played in 6 months. I'm gonna play him today. He hasn't played in 6 months. What are you doing? A playoff game.
Coming in cold, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
and also Gary.
Okay.
If we got that special guy up front, I mean, what a partnership he could have with Dante Van Zier. Okay. Who's just killing it like a new signing. The assists, the amount of assists he's gotten, and now he's chipping in with the goals. Okay,
I mean,
can you imagine
he's doing that? He's dishing. I mean, if I'm not going to score, I'm going to dish. Pretty soon, he's going to want the ball, and he's going to want to score as well. I mean, and that's a good problem to have. And Vincent has a very good point here. So the front office has difficulty finding that very one piece to help this team. This past summer windows have been disappointing, but hopefully they will get it right this summer. Hate to break it to you, Vince. I'm not holding my breath here. If anything, as part of the reason why they've had difficulty getting that one big piece, as you put it, is because they have a tendency to sometimes stand pat. Other teams, they go for it. They go get that piece. They go get that baller. Okay, because there's always a question of what if. I'm hoping that although I'm not going to hold my breath on it, I'm hoping someone in the up there, your sporting director and of course your head of sport go, you know what? Let's get somebody to put the tip of the spear, the tip of the spear, and see what we can find. Okay. You may not necessarily have to go get someone in South America and Europe. You might get somebody in MLS. Okay. Hey, USL. There's a couple of strikers down there that would love to have an MLS contract and able to prove his worth. They're not bums down there, but if you can't get your big target, you can always get somebody, it'll make a lot of people go, who? Like Owls. But if he's known to put it in the back of the net, hey, you give that boy that contract. And, of course, naturally, John Amaral. So the offensive positions are very fluid right now. Morgan up top running behind defenses is a big deal. That's his specialty. Him and Dante up top is working. Let's leave it alone until it doesn't. And this is why I say, if you're going to get that big baller, guys, will it ruin everything that's working right now? Will it cause things to slow down? Or do you want it to gel? Okay, you want it to actually improve, see where it goes, see how they run downhill. Okay, or it's all about winning a championship, right? You want you want your eggs in the basket. Which way are you leaning? Miguel, I'm going to start with you before we go to the break.
Yeah, Gary, I'm leaning that we have to add somebody like that, a special player up top. Okay. Now, let me ask you this: what are the chances that everybody's going to be healthy the whole season? Okay. I think the chances aren't good. Okay.
I'd
Right.
say
So,
I'd say 60 40 40 60. Honestly,
yeah,
it's a long season, okay?
yeah,
And this is probably the reason why we're telling people to temper their enthusiasm a little bit. Hey, I'm not saying no one should be, I'm not saying no one shouldn't be celebrating right now. They should be, okay? We are loving we're loving what we're seeing. I'm expecting a packed house Saturday, then Sunday. Of course, you got the banner raising at Red Bull Arena for New Jersey, New York, Gotham FC, which we will talk about in about a minute. Everyone's loving what they're seeing right now, okay? But, and I mean, but, okay, there's room for improvement, but we don't want to upset the apple cart. Nick, which way are you leaning for? I mean, you got the team rolling right now. You the coach. You liking what you see. There's some niggling things like stepping off the gas and getting a little complacent toward the end, trying to close out games for one. But you don't want to upset the apple cart somewhat, especially up front, which was an issue last year. Ain't an issue this year. It's not an issue this year. But you want to improve, but you don't want to kill it. You want to stick things where they are, and you want to try to find that one little piece, that little extra sauce, as they say.
I always my mentality is you always add, you never subtract when you're going for it. You have to add. We've seen so far the first 7 games, they've been very successful. Let's see what happens in the next 7 games. If the next 7 games show that they're still in this place, I think it will force the front office to make a move. Because if they're being still as productive and winning as many games as they've done so far, you will have to look. Wait a minute. I think this is better than we expected. Maybe if we bring somebody in, we could add to this. Let the players decide this. I'm always in that mentality. If the players show that they're balling out, you could always add, bring the guy along slowly, and then let them go. Remember, we don't win this until December. This is still April. We got
Right.
plenty of time for it.
No
We got
team
plenty
has
of
ever-
time to get chemistry and everything worked out. Let the players decide how well the runs go. We're still early.
I'm
Go
going to
ahead.
agree
Also,
with you there. Go ahead, Miguel.
okay.
I'm going to.
Yeah. Also, Gary, I think there has to be a mindset in the organization. I don't know what they're thinking, but rumors are rumors. But let's say they're looking to sell Tolkien, for instance. Okay, in the summer, hopefully they can bring someone in. Okay, like maybe like an Ellie type player. Okay, that can be of.
I mean, if we've
that
heard
level.
anything from Tolkien, if we ever heard anything from Tolkien by now, we would definitely heard it by now. But things has been quiet.
Okay.
Yeah, things has been pretty quiet.
Yeah.
I mean, not saying that he may or may not be, sold this summer, but there hasn't been a whole lot of chatter for him. And as we know, Red Bull does like to play things close to the vest. But
That could all change after the Olympics too.
exactly. I mean,
Okay.
so I don't even think he even made the team yet. I mean, they haven't really.
They haven't announced anybody, but he's been on the preliminary.
Yeah,
No, he's on the. He's been him and Edelman have both been on the preliminaries.
I mean, I would say that if anyone who's going to be going to Paris, it'll probably be Edelman, which
he deserves it.
Which he deserves it. It's not going to hurt this team because they do have an understudy under Edelman that can step up in his in his wing. But as far as Tolkien is concerned, he came back a little banged up, so he's working his way back into fitness. Other than that, we haven't heard a thing about him being moved off to another club. We'll see. I mean, things could change in a heartbeat around here, but we haven't heard anything yet from him. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave that right here. When we come back, we're going to talk about Chicago Fire and an old friend coming up and a very disturbing incident that we've been hearing. What's happening with the Generation Adidas Cup. See you back here in 30 seconds. All right. Speaking of the Chicago Fire, they're going to be our next opponent at the Cathedral, taking place at 7:30. The fans should, if anything else, should be making their way over to the team. We're hoping it would be a very good sized crowd. We're hoping we've been able to stay dry on this one. Because the last couple of games have been nothing but rain. But the last time we've seen the Chicago Fire, they've been doing pretty good, but right now they're not exactly doing so hot. I mean, looking at the standings right now, this is usually Carlos and Lanray's job. They're sitting in 10th place right now in the East. They are, for all intents and purposes, a couple of points, but just literally below the playoff line. So if the playoffs ended today, they'd be out, unfortunately. But they're a pretty good side. I've been watching these guys play. Despite where they are, they're a pretty solid team. And it bears the reason they have a tendency to knock out some of the big. They tied Philly late. I mean, they don't stand down for small, for large clubs. So there stands no reason they should not be, afraid to play us. The one guy you really got to keep an eye on is their forward. I mean, he's that type of dude that he's sneaky. Okay.
Hugo Capers.
There you go. Yeah. Yep. He's just go ahead.
Yeah, if you look at what Chicago did, Chicago spent a lot of money in this offseason. $12 million on Hugo Cypers, who was 2 years ago's Belgium's #1 scorer, Golden Boot winner. Had 8 goals in Europe too, so he's not like he's a scrub. They brought in the Starlow, of course, for $250,000. My RX guy. They signed Kellen Acosta as a free agent, which solidified their midfield to go with Shaqiri. They brought in Andrew Gutman, RXL Red Bull guy, to play left back. To go with what they already have in homegrown Chris Brady, their goalie, and Brian Gutierrez, another homegrown player that's already on the under US 23, another Olympic team member. So you already have players in place, and they spent last year another $15 million in players too. So you're looking at a team that's spending cash. The problem is their defense stinks.
Yeah, that was the one thing I was about to mention.
Their defense,
their offense. It's another one of those clubs, right, Nick? A lot of offensive firepower. In the back, they're clueless. My goodness. I mean, I'm looking.
14 goals against already.
Right. Are you kidding? No wonder they're in 10th place. If you look at the goals against, they have the worst goals against in the conference.
Average two a game. Atlanta destroyed them for
worst.
3. Montreal scored 3 on them, and Atlanta scored 3 on them.
I mean, they have
on the road. They've given up 2, 2, and 3. So you can see where their problems are at. Brady's been hung out to dry, so we can see.
If I'm the keeper, I'm thinking I should quit. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like you watch a baseball team, whether it's the Chicago Cubs, with Chicago Cubs or Chicago White Sox, they spend a lot of money on hitters, right? All that offense, all that home runs, their bullpen minor league. Okay, they can't hold in. The relief pitcher probably has an ERA of 19, right? So no, I mean this is I look at this team.
We owe them a receipt from last year too. We owe them one. They came in here after we beat DC. It was that game that we thought we had, and we laid the egg.
Well, here's the thing, though. Okay, you say we laid the egg, right? So I can't really blame. I can't say we own a receipt for Chicago where, our boys were the ones that blew it. Okay,
we
deserved the we blew it.
yeah.
You blew it. I mean,
that was the great kid Kutsias scored the game winner on the header left by against Duncan. You put a 6'4" guy against Kyle Duncan. That's not going to work out for Duncan's favor.
It's not going to work out. Miguel, I guess the big bonus is that we get Mr. Starlow coming back. Will there be a warm reception, or is he going to be showered with booze?
No, come on. Don't
we have a lot of Barlow haters in the group. Okay, a lot. Okay. They could not stand this kid. I was like, what this guy do to you? Rape your kid or something? Stop it.
I thought
he just can't score, but you hate this guy.
I thought he sucked, but I would give him the clap if he came on. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, he deserved it. I mean, come on. I mean, look, I mean, it wasn't.
Listen, I don't blame.
Did he get us a cup? Hell no. I mean, but you know, he had moments. Okay, he had moments when he did score goals. I mean, it wasn't that bad. I blame the coaches rather than the players, to be honest with you.
That's what I do.
You know,
I blame the coaches for putting him on the field time and time again when he technically did not deserve to be on the field.
Well, the reason why he did not deserve to be a field, Nicholas, I mean, I'll say it again. He was the only body left.
Yes.
Right. After how many injuries we had, like a couple of years ago? I mean, he was it. You know,
but you got to give Barlow credit, though. He did score in the 2 playoff games. Last 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he gave us that extended the season until penalty kicks. So, you know, he does have a little bit of magic there. Will it be enough for them to win? Now, we've seen this team score goals. I've seen this team give up games late, okay, against some inferior competition. Like you said, Montreal dropped three on these guys. And I'm still shaking my head over that one. How do you let Montreal score 3 on you? How?
Yeah, that was the win game. That was the one Acosta scored from the half field on the win when the ball came out.
And when I say boys and girls, when I say clueless defensively, I mean it. Clueless. I mean, I'm not going to use the line that Mark Fishkin and Seeing Red likes to use. So there should be no reason why we don't lose this game. I don't want to use that line.
Well, I
don't want to use that line, but
Gary, there's no reason that we're going to lose this game. There's no reason that our team loses this game.
If there's a trap game, if there is a quintessential trap game, this is it. Okay? This is it. This is the trap game. Okay? This is, I mean, you look at that, you know, I'm sure the coach will have to take, of course, on Mondays, they take a day off. And I'm sure he took a good look at that defense and said, okay, yeah, we can do some work on these guys. But I'm worried. We have a tendency to take our foot off the gas, okay? And that's what I'm worried about. That's that little bugaboo that we talked about a few games where they get a lead and they go, I'm going to sit on it. And then sometimes they sit on it just a bit too much when they bring the understudies. And instead of doing the right thing, they mess up, okay, here and there.
Okay.
I don't see that happening in this game. I have a lot of confidence in this team's defense, but you can't mistake that. I mean, you can't ignore that. I mean, they're a young crew that exhibits, how should I say it, Nicholas? Young crew bad things. They have a tendency to do dumb things down the stretch. I mean, hey, we have got one of our, favorite pundits, he holds his breath whenever he sees Andres Reis in the back line. So I can't, I can't say, we're going to win this. I don't know. We should, let's put it this way. The word is, and I agree with Mark here, this is, we have a bad tendency to lose the teams that we should beat. I don't think we're going to lose to these guys. I think they're going to take, the players are drop dead serious of making Red Bull Arena a fortress, okay, where losing ain't an option. Okay.
It helps that we have a coach and a plan this year. Not like last year where we had a guy just go, I don't know.
Yeah, just hoof the ball up. Just hoof the ball upfield and hope for the best.
You do your magic, and maybe we'll score today. Dude, it's not.
Right.
That's not how soccer is played. Come on, have a plan, have a place.
Yeah.
This year we have that. You see Sandro make quick adjustments. You see he has a plan to attack the team, and I think Chicago's in trouble. It was a good time to come back. The weather hopefully is good. We actually can not be drenched on for once in our lives for a home game.
Who you telling?
My 3 games. The Red Bull 2 game, this one, the home opener, and game against Miami. Come on, how much more rain can we get?
I mean, I'm tired of bringing out my swim trunks every time we go out there. I mean, it's it's one of those games where we look forward to. No one looks really forward to Chicago. There have been some, there have been some masterclass matches on both sides. Chicago is one of those teams that I like to see them really, among others, that I really like to see them improve. I preferably like to see them over in the Western Conference instead of the East. But what do you know? But this is a game that I'll emphasize this point. This is a game that we should win. The question is, will they? And definitely we will see when we ask questions on. They did, and like John said, they did a great game against Cincinnati, but they were coming off a very disappointing tie against Orlando. Okay. So they almost were like few minutes before walking out of there with 3 points from there until they got a little soft toward the end of the game. I'm hoping that hoping that they want to work on this bugaboo to steel themselves. And once they get a lead, they hold on to it, right? Yes. And close out the games. That's always been a concern of mine. And because they have a tendency not to do that, you're almost setting yourself up for failure, even though you're running out for out for success. What I'm hoping for. This release has said, you asked early what we need. We need butts and seats. Us fans need to make RBA a fortress again. They're giving us their all. We need to give them their all. There's no reason why I don't disagree with that. Okay, I understand that fans want to see big names. Fans want to see what's the word you always like to say, Miguel? Impact players. People come in and do some stuff. This team is giving their all. I mean, this isn't a squad that's the engine climbing up the hill. This isn't that this isn't that squad. They got a plan in place. They got ballers that can execute. The question is staying healthy. How long will you think? Let me rephrase this question, Miguel, because I don't want to insult some people. I don't want to go back to the group saying, "What you trying to talk about, Gary?" I mean, what do you think will take? For the fans sitting on the fence right now to say, you know what? I think I'll make a trip to see the boys.
Oh, Gary, I think, I'm going to tell you that.
Say it. No, say it. Say it.
It's going to take them signing somebody of note. Okay. I mean, I don't want to go back to what Miami's doing, but Miami goes somewhere and it's a sellout, they'll go somewhere else, not a home game, and they're selling them out. And it's mostly pink shirts. Okay. But I think for us, we need somebody like a Thierry Henry, a name like that, I don't know that. As a matter of fact, this team isn't in that game anymore of signing players like that. They're just not, okay? And we got a big name.
Technically, we do have we do have a big name. I mean, not a lot of people outside. I no, hear me out.
Come on, Gary.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
He's good. He's good, but you know what I'm saying, Gary.
There's A-listers, there's B-listers, right? There's C-listers. He's C. Okay. He's kind of like B, C, okay?
Maybe he's not C. Maybe he's B.
Okay, he's B-lister, okay?
Yeah, but as far as an A guy, I don't know that this team
No,
is
Cristiano
in
Ronaldo
that
is
game.
A-lister. Okay, he comes
Okay.
in, all of a sudden, the place is packed. Okay, for no particular reason other than to see him. But he ain't coming here. He certainly ain't coming in MLS.
Well,
When
Casey
that
came real close.
I mean,
What is
Casey
it?
came real close though.
who?
Casey has his rights, and he came. He even
Kansas
said
City.
it. He came real close to go to Kansas City, real close.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. But no.
Yeah.
So
How you gonna say no to $200 million? Come on. Even though you are Ronaldo, you have more money than anybody. $200 million is $200 million.
yeah, I mean, I don't see Red Bull, spending that type of cash unless there's something in between there. But you're right though. There are fans
Winning will
here
do.
in this particular area. They need a reason to come to Red
Win.
Bull Arena.
Yeah.
Lord knows. I mean, Lord knows that to me, the only reason why fans have not showed up, casuals anyway, is because they haven't won. The one thing that the one thing the Red Bulls have not done is win. I think. I mean, I kind of dispelled that because we got a ladies soccer team that's going to have their home opener on Sunday. They won, but they ain't packing the joint. Maybe at a lower level. I mean, but they ain't packing the joint. They basically built a super team of players that unless you follow women's soccer, they're on that roster. But as far as I know, the game isn't sold out. So
Listen, Gary, Gary,
go ahead.
let me just say this.
Here it comes.
John Amaral brings up a good point, Gary.
Okay.
And I've said it to you before. This is what we need to pack him in. Bobblehead night, one game, and then fireworks night the next game, and so on and so on and so on.
Free stuff every night.
I'm telling you, okay?
Aren't they giving out something per game?
Free stuff.
I don't know.
I don't disagree with John one bit. I mean, there's something that we laugh about him on the press box. And what do you got to do? Give away stuff every damn game for people to show up? Apparently so. It's Messi to show up every game if people show up. Apparently so. But I distinctly remember the fans were filling up the place when it was Thierry Henry and of course and everybody else, but I don't want this team to succumb to gimmicks. I don't. I mean, I hate gimmicks. I really do. I mean, even with the flashing lights, it's kind of borderline. I mean, to me, it kind of completes the place. It does to me. But whatever, I like to say whatever it takes.
I would do away with the flashing lights, Gary. Okay, because of autism.
Sadly, I have to agree with you. I just suggested a spotlight. That's it. Somebody scores a goal, spotlight. Yeah, he did it. That's basically it. And just be done with it. I mean, you do play in an arena, okay? But I mean, almost every arena has this sort of thing, where when a goal or a home run, you got flashing lights and stuff like that. I mean, whatever you go like that. Time for us to turn the page a little bit. That game, of course, is on Saturday, 7:30, and the usual suspect is going to be on Apple TV and all that stuff. So if you're planning on going to game, hopefully the weather will be much better. Please be advised.
It's going to be 58 degrees,
which ain't bad,
and cloudy.
Let's just hope it stays there. Okay.
Right now it says 0% chance of precipitation.
It's early.
Right now.
It's early. The only drawback is that Path is working on repairing tracks between Journal Square and Hoboken. Please add extra time to your trip, about an average of 40 minutes, because the trains are basically running 40 minutes apart. What's wrong with these guys? I mean, I don't understand.
Why can't they get it why can't they
during rush hour? You're insane.
No. Why can't they have a simple agreement like the Mets have? Hey, do all your construction you want when we're not here on the weekends.
I'm sure they probably do. I'm sure they probably do. The same situation, because there's a lot less foot traffic when it's not the game, when no one is playing. So I guess it's going to be one day, and it's going to be 2 days because you got the Red Bulls on Saturday, you got Gotham FC on Sunday. So that whole weekend is a wash.
I guess I'm
moving
walking to
on.
work.
Yeah. No, I tried that. That's what we're going to talk about. Moving on. Okay. There was a disturbing element during the Adidas Generation Cup where our under 15 teams and under 17 teams ran into some issues. And saying issues, of course, is putting it mildly, where they had no choice but to withdraw from the youth tournament due to alleged on-field racism incidents. Now, if you didn't get a chance to read the fantastic article from The Athletic that was written from Tom Bogart, who's also with the folks over in MLS, the TLDR version of it was two separate incidents. One from a club from with under 17 from Croatian side Hadric Split. Thank you. The defender, his name was Eric Ty. He was racially abused by a player, name withheld. Okay, and the referee recognized that racist language, sent him off. Said, okay, that's enough from you. You're done. Earlier after that, days before that, another under 17 goalkeeper, Joshua Grant, alleged that he was racially abused by a club football Monterrey not players, excuse me. So we have two separate incidents, two separate teams. Okay. Same issue. Somebody mouthed off, of course, racially abused one of the players. Now, what the Red Bulls have done, okay, at that point was waited for a response from the league. Remember, this is a tournament that is produced by Major League Soccer and, of course, Adidas. And they were waiting from the officials. Okay, it's anybody going to do anything about it? Nothing. That ticked them off. Okay, absolutely nothing. The Red Bulls Youth Under 17 team was eliminated from the tournament by that very squad, Hadric Split, on Thursday, but the Under 15 team had advanced to the quarterfinals. The U15 team did not participate in Thursday's scheduled game against French side Toulouse. Then on Friday afternoon, the club released a statement saying the New York Red Bulls have decided to withdraw from the under 15, under 17 tournaments. There is no room for discrimination around the competitive play. As an organization, we stand together with our players on and off the pitch. Apparently, the issue was more of the league's response rather than just, what I'm seeing here, the kids just simply took the ball and went home. They were saying, hey, is anybody going to do anything? As a matter of fact, one of the players, one of the players, Grant is, basically, he joined the Red Bulls Academy this year from Real Salt Lake. He is a Jamaica Youth International. Now, what he did, of course, was posted a story on Instagram asking the league to please do something. He asked, and I quote, "Why do colored players like myself continue to be called monkeys by international teams?" Grant wrote. "Today, the same thing happened to my teammate. Please do something." So you have players, okay, guys, asking, pleading, begging for someone to do something, and nothing happened. Was this a case of boys being boys? Or did the Red Bulls players said, you know what? If you're not going to make a decision, we'll make one for you, and decided to walk because they couldn't tolerate this. Now, naturally, there's comments in this, in this site, and you see what you usually expect. Why did they leave? They should have just kicked the crap out of them. Walking away is quitting. Yada, yada, yada. I'm not sure, Nicholas, you're a parent, but Miguel, I know you are. Okay.
Yeah.
I say this: you guys would act and responded very differently if somebody called your kid off your name, okay, and nothing was done about it. So I'll ask you guys up front, and I'm going to ask everyone else that's listening in on the broadcast. Did the Red Bulls players did the right thing, or did they give the offending players something, made them win, so to speak?
You know, I think they did the right thing by doing that. They shed light on the situation by making this like a big deal, so to speak, by just walking away from the tournament. You know, to those people calling for them to have stuck it out and then beating the crap out of the players. That's you can't do that. You know, we saw that video today. That team from Brazil
Yeah,
started brawling with the kids from
Philly.
the Philadelphia Union. Okay, like
this was
what
before.
is-
This was
This was
before their
the
match.
Before
What
the
is
game,
that? What
and
is
they
that
just
all about? You know?
Flamingo issued a statement saying that they were racially abused. That was Flamingo's statement in response to everything.
Oh yes, is that what happened?
That's what their statement was. Flamingo stated that they were racially abused, and because the union decided to wear the red and white armband for and saying no racism before their game, their
So
quarterfinal matchup.
basically, you want to beat up a bunch of kids because
They're 17-year-old kids. You're gonna start
17-year-old
fighting.
kids because they didn't want to deal with racism, so you want to beat the snot out of them. Okay,
This is what
I've heard
what is what
now I've
this
heard
is what
everything.
let's do.
Wait,
We need
wait.
to talk.
Now I've
We're
heard
gonna
everything.
How does
we're
that
fighting.
equate racial abuse?
That's not
We're
racial
gonna
abuse.
sit
That's
there.
just drop dead stupidity.
We're gonna be fighting 15 minutes for every 20 seconds into a soccer game now because somebody said something stupid. That's what you guys want. Well, no, get rid of the guy that said something stupid. It's the easiest way to end it. You go. Sorry, you can't play. End of the story. Keep doing it. Keep pulling everybody out until they learn how to shut up.
I'm sure if I've seen my share of youth soccer games, and I've seen parents sit on the sidelines saying all kinds of stuff to each other, and of course to each other's kids. I mean, it doesn't stop. And for a person like myself that has experienced a lot of racism in my lifetime, both overtly and covertly, I find it very strange for folks to, tell me that, I need to get over it. Well, words matter until they become physical. So I've also experienced it in the physical, in the physical standpoint. But these were kids, okay? These were kids. They haven't even had their first glass of whatever, alcoholic beverages. And, they were racially abused, okay? If you were a parent of said child, I'll say it again, you would react and respond differently. Okay, you wouldn't be sitting there going, "Oh well, hey, my boy's gonna kick the crap out of him." Boys will be boys. At some point, you have to take a stand. At some point, you have to say to yourself, "You know what? This ain't kosher. This ain't it." Yeah, I understand that in their culture in Europe, as one friend told me, he said, "You know what? They need to toughen up because if they have any aspirations of playing in Europe, let me tell you." What they heard today doesn't pale in comparison to what they're going to hear from some drunken fool, okay, running his mouth. We have seen, I mean, we hardly call these guys supporters, but we have seen their fans throw bananas at black players, chant monkey grunts at them, okay. When I say that the racism in some areas in Europe, mostly Eastern European Europe, it's visceral. It's ridiculous. Okay. But that doesn't make it right. It never makes it right. And that's what, you know, that's what, what I really don't understand. And I agree 100% with Lisa. These are kids being racially abused by their peers. It's wrong. Drop dead. It's wrong. MLS, like they do a lot of they ham-fisted. Okay, they botched it last season with Dante because they got involved with the Red Bulls, who was trying to quiet things down, but not in the sense of what you think. They were trying to get ahead with it, and they were told by the MLS, no, we'll take over and let it fester. So now they're doing it, so what they did with the Dante incident, they're now doing this. This is one of those situations, guys, where MLS simply doesn't, can't get out of their own way. Okay. And things get out of hand before it can be before the fire can be put out. And as far as the Flamingo thing, he said that's not what it was rumored to be saying. They alleged that a union parent said that something racist after the game. MLS said they couldn't corroborate it. But overall, and I agree with John, good on the kids in the organization. Bedstead made that the league takes serious for any future international, tournaments. Okay. But apparently, gentlemen, their house needs to be in order. If you're going to preach zero tolerance, then act like it. Okay? Act like it. This is your tournament. You're running this along with one of your sponsors of the league, one of your equipment, sponsors. And it shouldn't take to some kid going on social media pleading for help for you to actually do something. Okay? That should have happened before that. That should have happened right then and there. Sure, the referee did his job, kicking the loudmouth player out. The squad should have been admonished for it. Should have said, hey, something like this happens again, you're all packing your bags. This ain't cool. We don't tolerate that. You sat back and did nothing. That wait and see attitude causes problems. They're like, oh, well, you're not going to enforce it? Now we can say whatever we want. Nah. It's like we always said, right, guys? Sure, this country does have a First Amendment, freedom of speech. But as I always say, freedom of speech does not make one immune for the consequences of said speech. And if there are no consequences, then don't complain when teenagers take the adult position and do something about it. And that's all I'll say here. I mean, it's it's a sad thing all over. Hopefully we'll get some more news on this. Hopefully we'll get some more information and pass along to the group. But it's a sad thing for something like this to happen. And you have some folks, some in the group, some outside, saying, oh, we hurt their little feelings over a game. Well, sometimes a great man, they this is what I was reading, in the comment section, Nicholas, there was evoking, Jackie Robinson, of all people.
Yeah,
Jackie Robinson, you got to be out of your mind.
The guy had get death threats. The guy was getting death threats, and his house was getting blown up. Yeah, that's the guy you want to look at. Yeah, come on. Jeez, what are you guys doing?
I'm like, please. Yeah, Jackie Robinson, one of my heroes. I said to myself, no, we're talking about kids, not a grown ass man.
They're 15. They're not professionals, for crying out loud. These kids may not even play outside of college after this level. Come on, what are you doing?
Well, what are you gonna do? I mean, it's a thing that is old as time itself, right? Where these things tend to happen, but you don't want it to happen, but it does anyway. So let's get down to our most dangerous part of our show, which is predictions. Nick, you go first. What are you seeing as the final score?
I'm going with the Red Bulls 3, Chicago 0 tonight. 3-0. I'm going out on a limb today.
You're going out on a limb today.
After I had 0-0 last week, I was going with a 0-0 game. and I placed a bet on it, and went. It was a nice 10-1 payout, but of course it didn't happen. But let's leave that alone. Yeah, I'm going 3-0. Forsberg, Venzier, and Morgan with a goal.
Miguel?
I'm going with the same scoreline, Gary. And I don't mean to copy Nick, but that's what I had in my head before he answered. Okay, so 3-0 to the mighty New York Red Bulls.
Mighty New York Red Bulls. I'm going to also call this a win, but it's going to be a little closer than that. I'm saying 2-1, New York. Okay, Chicago with all that firepower, they're going to get theirs. Okay, I'm also expecting the defense to somewhat falter because holding on leads for this squad ain't their strong suit. Okay. Our offense is rolling right now. Really is. They're rolling right now. So I don't see these guys off the scoreboard. In fact, I'd be shocked as hell if they something do. But besides, my last prediction got me off the deck. I got to win. So I'm no longer in last place at the moment. I'm practically tied with somebody. I have to go check me, but I'm no longer dead last at this point. So I'm now, I'm trying to get myself a nice little winning streak. So
now we put it 3-0 too.
let's see if that's about So yeah, I'm hoping for a win. Yeah, go ahead.
Gary, if it's 0-0, 90th minute, and Tom Barlow comes on and scores the game. Forget it, that's it. I'm done. Okay.
We're all walking off the field together.
I'm like quietly. I want him to get the one that I want. I want him to get his. Just for all just to shut up all the the Barlow haters. Just say, you see, you mess with the soccer gods, that's what you get. You just simply say, hey, thanks for the memories, and shut the hell up. But nah, they're still beefing about Barlow to this very day, like a jilted girlfriend. They're beefing about Barlow. My goodness, some people just don't know when to grow up. So next week. This is going to be we're hoping to have one more guest with us. It's almost at the end of the month, which means that Anthony Merced will be joining us to keep us up to date on what's going on in the Red Bull circle. So he'll be back with us next week. And I hope the rest of all of you remember, if you missed the live show, which is going on right now, don't worry about it. YouTube channel, goals.tv, and of course Spotify.com is your friend. You'll be able to see all of our episodes, which will be uploaded the very next day. For Nicholas Llanos, for Miguel Nunez, thank you all so much for spending time with us this hour. Thank you very much for your support for the folks in the group. Yeah, we hope the Gunners can able to hold on for dear life. This is what happens when you score a lot of goals. You don't get overtaken. They have to score about 42 something in order to catch them?
6.
They're up there by 20 something goals?
No. The goal differential is closer than
+6.
that.
+6.
Yeah, +6. That's what
+6. Thank you. But they have to score 6 goals. I don't see anybody winning 6-0 unless they decide to drop down like a dog and piss off all of y'all. But but we'll see what happens then. Well, for the rest of you,
match is the key match of the year. Watch it.
Oh, yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of nervous people in North London. For the rest of us, we hope to see you in Harrison. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week. Good night and goodbye for now.